Okay, so we're on to 6.3, dividing fractions. So it's very similar to multiplying fractions, but obviously we're dividing. But dividing fractions is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So luckily, the multiplying and the dividing are very similar because all you're gonna change it into a multiplication problem. So again, the standard way is if you have A over B divided by C over D, that's the same thing as A over B times D over C, because that's the reciprocal of C over D. And then that gives you AD over BC. So we're going to basically be doing this for the other problems. So I'm going to rewrite it. So I'm going to say x over 2y times 4 over xy. So now I can start multiplying across and cross-reducing. So these x's will cancel out. And this 2 will go to a 1, and that will go to a 2. So we're left with 2 at the top, and 1 times y squared on the bottom. Now, since in this case we are just dividing the fractions, we're not actually like simplifying them or whatnot, we are not putting the restrictions at this point. If I want restrictions, like if we're simplifying, then that's when restrictions are needed, but I'll make sure to include that in the instructions. So right now we're just doing the division. Okay, so again, dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, so I'm going to write that problem out like that. So that's going to be x plus 5 over 24. So now we need to simplify in the sense of we have 18 over, and then factor that out, x minus 5, x plus 5, because that's difference of squares, times x plus 5 over 24. So I can cancel those out, and then I can actually cross-reduce. This is divisible by 6, so I'd be left with 4, and so is this, so therefore I'm left with 3. So I'm left with, I'm going to write it down here actually, left with 3 at the top and 4 times x minus 5 at the bottom. I put the 4 in front because that's what we're used to doing. Okay, so on to the next one up. We got to do some factoring in this one, but first again we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 10 over 2x plus 6 times x squared minus x minus 12 over x squared minus 4. So we need to factor. So I'm going to factor the top of the first one. I know that needs to add, and it's add multiply. So it needs to add to 3, multiply to negative 10, which will be 2 and 5. It's going to be a negative 2. So therefore the top is going to be x minus 2, x plus 5, divided by, and then I'm going to factor out GCF of the bottom, so they have a GCF of 2, so I factor out the 2, and I'm left with x plus 3. Now I'm going to factor the top of this one. It's, again, another add multiply, so add to negative 1, multiply to negative 12, so that's going to be 4 and 3 with a negative 4, so I'm left with x minus 4, x plus 3, and the bottom is difference of squares, so that's x minus 2, x plus 2. So now I got to do some crossing out, so the x plus 3's, x minus 2's, and that leaves us with x plus 5, x minus 4 over 2 times x plus 2. There we go. And last one down here. Okay, so we got to do a couple little bit of work right here. So I know that if it's being cubed, that I have to cube the 2 and the x at the top. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, and then x cubed over, and I have to cube the y, so y cubed. And then it's divided, so that's really multiplying by the reciprocal, so it's y squared over x. But then we're just multiplying by x over 4. I don't have to flip it because it's not dividing. So now I'm going to start simplifying. So those 4 will be a 1, and that will be a 2. That x and the x will cross out, and the y squared will cross out, and this will be left with just y. So we have 2 times x to the third over y times 1, which is y. There you have it.